In the heart of downtown Saratoga Springs, on the corner of the iconic Congress Park, sits a beautiful brick building. In the 1930s, ground was broken on this site to construct a new library accessible to all. By the 1950s, that little library had become a hub of discovery, community, and imagination. After nearly a decade of operating out of found spaces, including a portable file box in her car, Saratoga Arts Council's first executive director, Dee Sarno, was in search of a place the arts could call home. In 1996, Saratoga Arts took up residence on the corner of Broadway and Spring Street, embracing the community built by learning and making something entirely new.
This was a community effort. People had the passion and the belief that this could happen. And that's what it was all about. It was about community and passion and people believing we should be here.
Saratoga Arts' mission: to enrich the region by cultivating a vibrant arts community and by ensuring that the arts are accessible to all, embraces the idea that we will facilitate and nurture all forms of creativity. Saratoga Arts shares the art of our community members through exhibitions in our galleries at 320 Broadway, which feature 16 artists selected by jury each year, in addition to our community shows, the 10x10, Member Show, and High School All-Stars. Saratoga Arts also hosts art in public places, art in the park, pop-up art markets, and has a permanent gift shop allowing artists other opportunities to feature and sell their work. At Saratoga Arts, you can learn something new all year long. 500 students of all ages engage in all levels of arts education through our youth camps, classes, and workshops. Whether you're dropping in to learn a new technique or dedicated to taking your skills to that next level, season after season, Saratoga Arts has something new to offer. In the Dee Sarno Theater, Saratoga Arts invites the community to create something new, hosting theater, dance, and musical performances, not to mention hours of rehearsal. The performing arts are central to the work of Saratoga Arts. As a statewide community re-grant site, Saratoga Arts is able to fund artists and organizations who are creating art and building relationships in and with our community. Over the years, Saratoga Arts has been able to distribute more than $1.5 million to arts programs with direct impact on Fulton, Montgomery, and Saratoga counties. In order to facilitate our ever-expanding programmatic work and outreach, a major revitalization of this centrally located umbrella for all the arts is already underway in celebration of our 25th anniversary. As we make something new at Saratoga Arts, there are so many ways you can participate in this important work and help us build and re-emerge stronger than ever before.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, artists of all ages. I want to thank you for coming to the annual meeting, the 35th annual meeting of Saratoga Arts. I'm not really sure it's 35. As many of you know, the Saratoga County Arts Council was formed in 1986 by the Chamber of Commerce. It was an unincorporated nonprofit. It took a couple of years to move the office out of Dee Sarno's trunk and into offices. They had some beautiful offices on Broadway, north of the post office, John Frank's building. And then in 1996, the Arts Council took over this old library building. In 2000, they raised $550,000 for renovations, and here we are 25 years later, stronger than ever. So I'm Harry Bucciferro, I'm the board president. I was also on the board back in the day when we first negotiated the lease for the Arts Council. And this building obviously is literally the cornerstone of Congress Park. You know, it needs major renovations and modernization, and this is happening. In partnership with the city, we had some meetings with DPW yesterday. You'll hear more about our capital campaign and the city's work on this building. It's coming. But on to tonight's business, which is approval of the directors and officers of the board for calendar year 22. So Saratoga Arts is the successor to the Saratoga County Arts Council, and it's not your grandfather's Arts Council. We've got a super board and a dynamic new executive director. I think of this board as kind of the Justice League of the arts, or if you're a Marvel fan, the Avengers, okay? So each of these board members is a hero in their own organization, whether it's SPAC or the TANG or New York State or Business and Tourism. They're all superstars, and they're getting together to maximize the city's arts and economic power. This is really becoming a collaborative effort that hasn't existed really for the last 25 years. And we've got the city, the mayor, the deputy commissioner, we've got the the commissioner of DPW and finance all behind us, and again, this is going to happen. But a couple of things I want to mention to you. One, we have changed the fiscal year of the Arts Council. It used to be April 1 to April 1. Now it's running January 1 to January 1. And that's why we're having this annual meeting now. And I would be remiss not to thank a few people. Past President Suzanne Simpson for her accomplishments in leading Saratoga Arts through some very tough times the last couple of years. Obviously, yeah. Suzanne here. Thank you. And a couple of other departing board members, Laura Dorado and Takis Walter, have been great advocates for the arts and made significant contributions. And I also want to thank Frank Lasky and Ralph Pascucci, some past board members who were serving on our facilities committee, which is going to make a big difference as we move forward with this reconstruction project. So, seeing now we have a quorum present, we need to make a motion to approve the directors and officers of Saratoga Arts for the year 2022. I'm making that motion. And the staff is, well, my second is my consigliere, Jeff Altamari over here. So I think we have a second. Am I correct? You told me that before. All right, good. So here's the board. Me as president, Ava Marco is a treasurer. She's a branch manager of the new Saratoga National Branch in Wilton. Jenna Berger is our secretary. She's an interior designer of an appropriately named firm, Jenna Berger Design. Ian Berry can't be with us today. He's in London. He's a professor at Skidmore and the director of the Tang Museum. Alan Weatherwax is with us, a new member. Just took a new position at MIT after years with Siena. Is that correct? And Jeff Altamari is a retired financial officer. Maureen Parker, who can't be with us, is another person who's sick this week. It seems to be going around. It's crazy. Maureen is the local Schwab branch leader. Elizabeth Sobol, the president and CEO of SPAC. Tamara Tepper is a financial and senior consultant who is with us here tonight. Amanda DeBrule, another new member, is a business officer with Athena Health. And Shelby Schneider, who is a deputy director of New York State Economic Development Council. And with that board, directors and officers, and the motion approved, can we get an approval? Everybody say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Any motions from the floor? I think we're good. So that's good. That's my job. So now I'm going to turn it over to Louise. So I mentioned, the great job that we did and that Suzanne did and Louise has done in recruiting board members. But we also are very fortunate to have a dynamic new executive director who comes to us with tremendous experience in the arts, having been an artist, having run the gallery, and comes to us from Yaddo with some significant not-for-profit management experience. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Louise. Olana. Did I say Yaddo? Uh-oh, sorry. Olana. They sound the same. Whatever. Sorry about that. Thanks, Louise. Right, and they're both run by Scottish people, is that what it is?
Well, Alina is Scottish,
Yes,
but
that's
yeah.
right, yeah. Thank you.
No, Harry, I need that. Can I have that?
Oh, you're nice.
You can't have that. I will lose my place without this in front of me. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm so happy to see you all. And welcome to everybody who is tuning in and watching our live stream. We so appreciate you being here. We are the Community Arts Center. We strive every day to be a hub of creativity and collaboration in the heart of downtown Saratoga. And I'm delighted to say, as we emerged from the pandemic at the beginning of 2021, folks rallied behind us in recognition of just how important arts and culture is for our city. So as members, you are connected into something so vital for this community, and I want to say thank you for your continued support. So much has happened over the past year. I could be here for hours, but I will just share a few highlights that we're immensely proud of. This year, I think the most important thing is that we've strengthened our connections to all of the arts and culture organizations in the region by building collaborations of cultural activities, programmatic work, events, exhibitions, and education. And as you know, this building itself provides over 10,000 square feet of multi-use community space that facilitates all kinds of creative work and is the centrally located umbrella for information and creativity. Partnerships and collaborations, not just within the arts and culture community, but in others, hi Daryl, they're starting to look like something that we're getting pretty darn good at. So a few things to consider. Over the last 30 years, we have provided over $1.5 million in direct grant support to the arts in Fulton, Montgomery, and Saratoga counties. This year is shaping up to be a banner year. We will be distributing $185,000 in direct support to artists, educational organizations, and community nonprofits. I invite you all to mark your calendars for May 14th, when we will host a reception in our gallery for this year's 47 projects that have been awarded grants and celebrate the arts and cultural work that is scheduled for this season right here. In 2021, we were able to reimagine and relaunch some of the things that Saratoga Arts has been known for with some success. We also participated in new and exciting endeavors that will help shape our future. We have stabilized our finances, we've grown our board, we've grown our staffing, and now we're starting to grow again on a really stable foundation. In-person events and openings flourished at Saratoga Arts. First Thursday performances continue. They were started right bang in the middle of the pandemic. We would have people performing in our picture windows and pipe the music out onto the street. We've been able to do those things now in person. This coming April 7th, nothing to do with the fact that I'm Scottish, but it happens to be Tartan Day the day before, and we'll be celebrating Tartan Week here in Saratoga. So with the collaboration of my neighbor over at Toga Heritage, we will have a piper in full regalia first Thursday. So please mark your calendar, 5:15, it should be really fun. Art in the Park in 2021 was a welcome outdoor event filled with sunshine, music, laughter, and art. Obviously, everybody knows we were unable to do it in 2020. This year, we're going to partner with some other local nonprofits and facilitate 2 art festivals in the park. One will be July 23rd, and the second will be September 24th. This will provide over 200 artists and makers places to showcase and sell their work. Our gallery hosted 16 juried artists last year who were having their first exhibition ever, some cases, and others had been making work for well over 50 years. Our partners in the Art in Public Places program, High School All-Stars, 10 by 10, and Members Show provided over 350 artists a place to showcase and sell their work. Hudson Headwaters partnered with us over the holiday season to create a virtual marketplace, selling over $10,000 worth of work and a percentage of that benefiting their upstream fund. This was so successful, we've decided to roll that into a rolling admission platform for all of our members who make work so that they have a place that they can upload and sell their work, with a percentage going to help local nonprofits in the region, but then the revenue going back to the artists themselves. Our participation in a group exhibition last year called All Together Now, which was facilitated by the Tang Teaching Museum and the Henry Luce Foundation, allowed us to showcase world-class art in our gallery over the summer. And it was a really valuable teaching tool for our summer camps, which, by the way, in 2021, we had the most successful summer camp ever in the history of the organization. Most amount of kids came through. All of them were lovely to one another. Everybody was so excited to actually do something in person. They were really diligent about following protocols. So we had not one case of COVID over the summer with all of the kids coming through, which is miraculous. I have no idea how we managed it. This summer, we are going to partner again with SPAC to bring an exhibition called Ageless Dancer to this very theater. It's going to be an immersive exhibition by dancer and artist Betty DeFranceschi. It'll be in this theater. We are also going to borrow some works on paper of sculpture related to movement and dance from the Tang by Dorothy Daner, who was the wife of David Smith, another very important sculptor. And then our main gallery we will fill with work by the world-renowned artists Mia Westerlund-Rusin and Caroline Ramensdorfer, featuring sculpture and works related to how their process is. So think lots of drawings, maquettes, videos of installations. It'll run for 8 weeks in the summer, and it will be an absolutely key teaching component for our summer camps, exposing young artists to world-class museum quality work by 4 incredible women artists. In 2021, our education programming served over 500 young aspiring artists across all genres who were beyond excited to be amongst their peers once again. This year, we'll expand all of our classes by at least 30%, expand our teen camp, which this year will focus on career building programming, and bring expert instructors and professional artists from around the country to provide a really exciting and new arts education program. Our adult program, including weaving, painting, drawing, photography, improv, there's a lot more. You'll have to go on our website and check. I could stand here giving you the list. This is now launched, and we're hoping to expand that also exponentially this year. We've partnered with AIM Services and Without Walls to ensure that moving forward, all of our programmatic work will be accessible and inclusive to all, and never have disabilities be a barrier to someone coming to any of the programming that's happening here at Saratoga Arts. We'll partner with Homemade Theater again, who last year made this space come alive, not only with our kids camp children's performances, but with their very vibrant community theater productions, which they host every quarter. Eric and his team have been a delight to work with, and I look forward to a fun, packed house with all of their performances, which are happening for the next quarters in 2022 and 2023. There is also a little surprise collaborative outdoor event that you'll have to stay tuned, that we're gonna do together as organizations. We have received a grant that enables us to provide 1,000 hours of free rehearsal space to our community so they can utilize the theater and both all the downstairs classrooms. We have another grant that will facilitate the first ever Saratoga Springs Talent Showcase, which we will host on June 4th at City Hall. Thanks to a generous donation of equipment from the Old Film Forum, we will be able to launch film again here in the fall. We've hosted dance, music, lectures, book festival speakers, and so much more in this ever-evolving multi-use space that you're sitting in tonight. Our capital campaign, which we launched last year, last year in 2021, we invested $98,400 into the building, upgrading things like the floors, the chairs, some health and safety things that were, really needed to be expedited. And in 2022, we are delighted to have a really strong partnership with the City of Saratoga Springs. And the rejuvenation of this art center will shift into high gear as we look to repair and renovate both this wonderful building, both the inside and the out. As the city has pledged to focus on vital infrastructure like HVAC, gutters, drainage, windows, roofing, the thing they're necessary, but they're not so visible all the time. And they've pledged $700,000 in financial support. We as an organization have pledged to raise $500,000 to bring our theater and gallery spaces up to industry standards, outfit new community spacers downstairs, including state-of-the-art print shop, a music and recording lab, and we will also expand our main painting and drawing studio into the park by adding access with new glass doors to facilitate indoor-outdoor programming, and our educational work will then spill out into beautiful historic Congress Park. And I think last year and the year before taught us the importance of being outside. I thank all of you who have already contributed to our capital campaign. Your support is what's making all of this happen. Every contribution, no matter how small or large, will allow Saratoga Arts to expand safely and effectively, serving all the genres of arts and artists, embrace all ages, genders, ethnicities, and cultures, facilitate collaborations and support for fledgling startups to well-established organizations, and perhaps most importantly, it will enable us to build strong and a cohesive voice for all the arts right here on, what did you call it, the cornerstone of Saratoga, well into the future. In closing, I would like to thank my current board, both our new members and some of the more established ones. Thank you again to Suzanne Simpson for choosing me and then trusting me to steer the ship. And thank you again, I don't know if they're here, they're probably still out in the gallery, to our volunteers. This is once again a really growing, vital part of our organization, and it's just vital for our continued success. So without them, we couldn't have all the things that we have, and I'm so grateful to them. And finally, perhaps the most important individuals here tonight, by far, are my small but mighty team, who are all hiding in the back over there. Charlie, Catherine, Christian, May, I'm gonna cry because I love them so much. Carrie and Judy. I am so grateful to you guys for your hard work, for your professionalism, and of course, that sense of humor that you bring to work every day. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know why I'm so emotional, other than I could not do it without them. So thank you very much for coming today, and I'm so excited for you all to be here and be part of this journey for Saratoga Arts as we start the next chapter.
I'm simply a member here. Good evening. This is a 4-point member statement, please. And I'm phrasing it in terms of being positive. First, the entrance planters flanking the doors call for live plants. Our website's frontispiece shows both of them empty. Our mission supports vibrancy. Second, 2023 through 2025 juried shows require better, earlier submission standards. Such would include artists who book years in advance. And I know that you referred to accessibility for people who have special needs. I'm simply including artists who book years in advance in terms of our mission supporting accessibility for all. Third, we artists must maintain submission standards up to and including delivery pleas. Such builds community between the artists and the staff. Our mission supports community. Fourth, juried enforcement is for the board. The staff releases the body of accepted work to the board before placing the show, please. Artists, please submit a visual record per piece, the front, the back, all edges, including all supports for display. This is essential to having high standards. Board enforcement helps our mission to build trust within all parties. Finally, we're in a world-class city. Many people from many other countries visit, adding to their collections either in person or through their agents. So please, Add to the vibrancy. Include artists who book years in advance by giving early submission procedures earlier, and keep those standards for juried entry. May we thrive through our mission. Thank you.
So, Antonia, right? Thank you for your statements. I guess if anybody else has anything else they'd like to share, I'm happy for you to come up and speak. And Antonia, I'm more than happy to meet with you and go over all of our procedures, and anybody else here if there's any other question. But with that, I would say, yeah, do you have a question? Yeah, you want to say? Actually, it's funny that you say that. There is actually some things in the works for that in conjunction with the city. This building is owned by the city. But if you would like to give any of my staff or me your name, and I can fill you in on what the progress is so far. Yeah, great. There's an old mural downstairs that was painted when Dee first opened the art center. And it's, I think 1996 is when she did it, so it's a little bit tired. And we're getting ready to do something else, and what I'd love to do is have some sort of a community project where we can not just have it in the hallway downstairs, but have it come up the stairwell into the theater here, because there's a big empty stairwell. It would look really great with a community mural of some sort. So I'd love to get your name, and we'll keep you in the loop. There are some outdoor projects as well, so yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions? Yes. There is, and what I can do is, it's funny, this has actually come up quite a lot in the city and with the Arts Council that looks at projects like that. You were in our teen camp last year. I recognize you, and I remember the work you made. And you're precisely, I want to involve all of like the high schools and different people in making a mural. And there are gonna be some opportunities. I don't know if it's gonna be this year for the exterior of buildings, but we are gonna potentially need some proposals. So yeah, please reach out and I'll be happy to get that started. Does anybody else have any other questions? I believe there's still wine left over and food outside. But thank you all so much for coming.